Hey guys, Burrsake here, and welcome to the monthly update of April the 3rd, actually. So, I don't want to keep you guys for too long, but I'll just get straight to the important business that anyone clicking on this video would probably be interested on my channel currently. I'm not gonna be doing Darkest Dungeon videos anymore. I know. You're thinking, yeah, you were experiencing lots of numbers, good growth, everybody seemed to enjoy it, tons of comments, good friends that watched it for a long time. Yeah, that you're right on every single bit of that, but and here that's the announcement, the biggest announcement. If you guys want to quit watching, I understand. But I will go into some details about my life and what's been going on and what we're going to be doing in the future. If you guys feel like sticking around, if not, I completely understand, because this channel is quote-unquote known for being the one of the Darkest Dungeon channels on YouTube. So, starting off, I need to tell you guys that, and I'm not looking for sympathy. You guys don't have to feel sympathetic or anything for me, but I've struggled with depression for a really long time. It's followed me ever since I was a kid. I had a pretty rough coming up, and yeah, I won't go into details on that, but my life was kind of shit for a really long time. And I still struggle with that depression. It comes and goes, and it comes and goes, and it's just an ever-changing thing. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it than that. And when I'm having a good time, I'm having a great time, and when things are going great, they're going phenomenal, right? But the opposite is also true, is that when things are going bad, they're going horrible, and they're going horrible, they're just going like catastrophic for me. And it's a problem I've worked on for a long time, and I'd like to think that I am better than I used to be. But it still is a big part of my life. And if this is the first time you're hearing that, well, sorry. if it's not the first time you're hearing about it and you know already, I'm also sorry, because I've been rather absent on my friends, my YouTube, my Twitch. I've been gone, man. I mean, I've been streaming here and there, but it's been like 4 days between each time, and YouTube, hell, what has it been, months? 2, 3? It's been a while. It's been a minute. And yeah, I just want you guys to get that out there first. And then secondly, I guess I'll tell you about some of the stuff that's been going on in my life that has definitely not helped any of this. But it's to nobody's fault that happens. So my wife got injured at work. She's the breadwinner for the family. She makes 90% of the money. I probably make 10%. Yeah, I know, be a man, get a job, etc. My wife doesn't want me to get a job. She wants me home. She wants me to make her as happy as she can be when she gets here. She wants me to help her keep up with stuff and timings and all that good stuff and take care of the house, which I've been failing on, I'll admit, because I've been, as aforementioned, depressed. But that's aside from this. So anyway, she's the breadwinner of the house, and she got injured. She's a delivery driver at Amazon, and she fell out of her truck 2 months ago? I want to say it was like 2 months ago. So we had to go to the hospital, and then after we went to the hospital, then we had to contact the people at work. And pretty much she got put into a temporary cast at the hospital. She couldn't use her leg at all, because it obviously hurt if you try to do anything to it. But when she went there, we found out that she had a fracture in her ankle. So pretty much, they called it a hairline fracture, but we learned that that apparently wasn't a real thing, and it was just a fracture that could get worse, pretty much, if she used it. So the way that works is her ankle bone was like this, and had a small crack in it, and if she kept using it, it would eventually snap. So she couldn't use her leg, so I had to start taking over everything. I went out, I got a job, taking care of the house, feeding her, helping her bathe, shower, whatever she needs. You know, that's what you do. When you're in love with somebody, that's what you do. You just, if they need anything, you help them as much as you can. So that's what I was doing. So I was absent for a while for that. But then so she was in that temporary cast, and then we had to wait. It was supposed to be like 3 days. We were supposed to wait 3 days for Amazon's people to contact us. Pretty much, they have to like develop a case, make sure that you were hurt at work, so they had to get timestamps of everything, which took like a week, even though this was only supposed to be 3 days. Timestamps of everything, make sure it happened. Then you have to go to the doctor. So we finally go to the doctor. They get her. She was walking on crutches. They get her out of the crutches. This was 2 weeks after, by the way. It was supposed to be 3 days before she did this, and it was 2 weeks after. So we finally get to the doctor. They take her off her crutches. They put her in a weight stabilization boot. It's just this big black boot that has like a bunch of padding at the bottom, and it like pretty much carries most of your weight and not on your foot and ankle. They told her wait 2 weeks or 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I can't remember. Wait X amount of weeks, come back. So during this whole time, of the 2 weeks before, well, it was actually like a month before we could get her to the doctor. We didn't know what was going on, so I was in the process of getting a job. We were putting all these bills on hold because you don't work, you don't have money. It's not some magical system that's, you don't get money for nothing in America. I mean, most places you don't, but I know that some places have, like, if you've been hurt, they'll immediately pay you and help you along with the process. They helped us as much as they could with the process, but they couldn't pay us because we weren't working. So, got a job at Walmart. Things were going pretty decently. But then she goes back to Amazon and she says, "You guys need me to quit to collect unemployment," or not unemployment, but workman's comp, where you've been hurt, so they compensate you for the work that you could be doing because you got hurt doing their job, if that makes sense. And so she ends up not doing that because they're like, "Yo, you can still work if you want to. You just have to do a different job," because normally, like I said, she's a delivery driver. But instead, now she's working as it's like the person who aids the delivery driver back at like the station or whatever. I don't remember what it's called. But that's what she's doing right now. So 2 weeks goes by, 2 or 3, I can't remember. We go back to the doctor. They say, keep using your weight stabilization boot. We're kind of in limbo right now because, like, things are weird, right? Like, she's having to do a job that she's never trained for. She's learning new stuff, and she's still going to college, by the way. So and then of course the frickin' virus. I know I haven't mentioned that at all, but this all happened before the virus. So we've been stressing our faces off because of all this crap. And then things are starting to get better. She's working, getting great hours. Everything's working well. The doctor says that she's healing well. Things are going great. And then the virus hits. So pretty much our town, we're in a small town in the state of Tennessee. I won't say exactly where because you're not supposed to do that online. But a lot of people know. Doesn't really matter. We're in a very small town, but we're like 30 to 45 minutes away from like the massive towns of Tennessee. So it's not a long drive. And we're what's called a drive-through town pretty much. So we have a big town over here and a big town over here. And people will go through our town all the time to get from one big town to another. Maybe they work there, maybe it's less, rent is less, etc., school, whatever, right? So we've been having the scare of the coronavirus as well, which has just been causing tons and tons of problems. She is considered an essential worker because she delivers packages, which is how everybody's getting their stuff now, because nobody can go to frickin' no one can go to stores anymore because of all the isolation protocols and crap. So that's been a whole thing, and she's trying not to get sick, and I'm trying not to get sick, and it's just been really, really stressful. And then if we need to get supplies, when you go out, the stores are just freaking empty. Like, people are going crazy, just absolutely bonkers. And it's so stressful to be a normal person during this, because one of the stores we went to was like so empty, it looked scary. It looked like if we sat there long enough, you'd see a zombie come from the back room or something. Like, it looked like a zombie apocalypse scenario. Just empty for miles. Nothing was stocked. It was crazy. But anyway, so we've been working through that. And obviously, like, when you have stressful life events and stuff's going really rough, your depression is just like, knock, 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 motherfucker. It's not getting any better. It's all your fault, etc. And anxiety and all that terrible stuff that comes along with it. So I'm not making excuses for myself. Obviously, I should have been taking care of all these things like YouTube and Twitch and all that stuff, and doing the real life stuff too. I know that it's easy to say like, well, you have an excuse, so, and it's a good excuse, but still, you have an excuse, so you shouldn't feel bad about it. But I just do, and yeah. But back to the whole reason why I'm telling you all this information. All this information leads to the fact that for me personally, I know for a lot of people it doesn't, but for me personally, Darkest Dungeon is a very stressful experience. I love the game. I love the mechanics. I love the modding scene. I love everything about the game. But for me personally, it's just stressful. And that might sound stupid to a lot of people, and I don't blame them for saying that, but it's very stressful. Like, so everything in life is on a, in my opinion, I always say stuff like that because I don't want people thinking this is how it is no matter what. But in my opinion, everything in life is about balancing reward with risk, right? And in Darkest Dungeon, winning doesn't feel as good as, or winning doesn't feel as good that losing feels bad. If I said that correctly, or if you have any idea what I'm talking about, yeah. So pretty much when you lose in Darkest Dungeon, it feels like a crushing defeat because you lose like hours of progress, you lose characters, you lose trinkets, all this like really hard stuff that you farm for. And I know I'm playing a difficulty mod, but it's just like that's a lot of shit that you lose, and it's really sad and crushing. But when you win, it's kind of like, yeah, I mean, I inch myself like a millimeter forward in progress to the great stretching goals that I put forward on myself, and all my characters get a little more powerful. Maybe I get one trinket that's slightly halfway decent. So yeah, it's a lot for me personally, especially with everything that's been going on. So I'm going to be taking an indefinite break till further notice, probably till Darkest Dungeon 2 at the very least. And yes, I did see the new DLC that they're releasing where it's PvP, and I think that's really cool. I'm still not gonna do it because I don't want to drag myself back into it. It's just been very depressing for me because it's just a lot. It really is. I've also recently cut many people don't know this on YouTube, but on Twitch, a lot of people know this. I was also a really, not really high ranked. That sounds like, ooh, he's so high and mighty. But I was Diamond 2 in League of Legends, and I got there with like a 65% win rate, so I probably could have kept climbing. But the toxicity and all this stuff, and it got to the same point that Darkest Dungeon did, where winning felt like, yeah, I won, and then losing was like, oh my god, I can't believe it. It feels so bad. It's like 45 minutes of my life with people just yelling at each other, being mad. And like winning is like, yeah, and then losing is like, oh, why am I doing this to myself? So, I've also cut League of Legends out of my life. Temporarily. I will probably go back to it at some point, but yeah, that's God, I've been ranting for a while. I'm sorry about that, but that's just some small changes I'm making. Now let's focus on some positives. We are in a bit of a break period from all the stress. And it feels good. It feels really good. Wife is doing great. The job's doing great. We got the necessities that we needed from the store. We don't have to worry about that. We do have another doctor's appointment coming up soon, so that will be a stressor, but it's not a bad one, right? It's not like we don't know what's going to happen no matter what. It's like either they're going to say, here, keep wearing the boot for longer till it heals, or they're going to be like, you're good. It's really just how it's going to go one way or the other. So that's not super stressful, but it is still something. But let's talk about the future. So I do want to play stuff for YouTube still. I still have the drive and the will, and I still want to do it. Cat's popping off behind on the window. I don't know if you guys have seen my cat. I don't feel like calling him over right now. Maybe I'll show him next time. But yeah, I do plan on returning to YouTube. Matter of fact, today, when this comes out, if I can get the video ready before 6, which I should be able to, it's not, I'm just gonna record, honestly. I don't even have to edit these videos, because they're not like, it's not like a video, it's like a play of a game, right? So, that's something that's gonna be coming today. I got a new game called One Step from Eden. It's a deck builder, it's a roguelike. It looks really, really fun and really good. I played one round of it, and I instantly knew I was going to love it, which is pretty exciting for me because I love new stuff, and it has a modding scene already. which is incredible. I love games with modding scenes. Um, so we're gonna be playing that. I'm also gonna bring Risk of Rain 2 back onto the channel. The only thing I'm waiting for right now is there's a mod called it's Baked. Hold on, I can literally search really quick. Baked, called Baked Mod Pack, and it's by Blazing Drummer. So whenever that gets updated, because they did just release the massive artifact update that was like 300 megabytes. It was massive for a like 800 megabyte game. That's a lot, right? So they just released that, and I'm waiting for all the mods to get updated to the new stuff so we can play through that, and that's gonna be tons of fun. And I think well, my wife came up with the idea, so I don't think anything my wife does. I think said it again. My wife and I think, and I happen to agree with her, that playing more story-based games and roguelikes, like match-based story stuff, on the channel is what I want to do for YouTube. And then for Twitch, I'm going to do more multiplayer themed stuff and more competitive stuff. Because I do have a strong drive for both. I love playing stories that are beautiful and sweet and amazing, and I love competing in video games and being the best I ever can be. So that's how it's going to go for now. From the future onwards, I'm gonna try to get a schedule again, and I'm gonna try to release videos regularly again. And if you've somehow stuck this far into the video, I just want to say thank you so much. I never talk about my mental issues because I was raised in a family, and a lot of guys were, okay? Guys specifically were raised generally, at least where I came from in the South and like that kind of stuff. We're always taught to like, don't show your emotions, hide your emotions, they don't matter. Nothing about you matters. You're just here to perform a job, pretty much, is how I was taught. Which I'll admit is not healthy, etc. I know that, and I try to work on it. But that's been my mindset for a long time, so I don't talk about mental health issues. I kind of just disappear off the radar, which I know is a horrible, horrible thing to do, especially when people are looking for videos and looking for content of yours, and you just don't show up, then they just stop looking for content of yours. And I understand that entirely. But that's just how I was taught, and I'm really trying hard to get over it. That's why we're doing this video specifically. I know it's kind of long, and I am sorry about that. But I think that's about all I have to say. I'm gonna try to be more open in the future. Instead of disappearing for like a month or two, I want to create a video at least that would be like, hey guys, stuff's really difficult for me for X reasons. I'm going to take a break till I make another video coming back. And I know that that's probably still like not the greatest. Of course, the greatest would be just make the content, make it enjoyable, and make people laugh. But of course, it doesn't always work like that, so I kept you guys way too long. Thank you so much for watching, and I appreciate you, especially if you watched through the whole thing, because I know a lot of people don't give a crap. They really don't, and I don't blame them. I'm a random dude. You don't know me. I play video games. Billions of people do, but I still appreciate you. So, oh, and I want to give a shout out to my Patreons who have stuck with me. I know. Sell out on an emotional video. I'm not selling it on my Patreon. I'm saying thank you to both Diggory and my boy Tony or Baloney Master. I don't know which one he wants me to call him. But they're really, really good friends of mine. And special shout out, he doesn't have the money for subscribing to the Patreon, but special shout out to my boy Bumble Bear as well. Always being around, always being a completely amazing friend. All three of those guys are just heartfelt love for them from the deepest part of my heart. They've been good people for me the entire time, and they're going through their own struggles, but they're still being nice to me and talking to me and keeping me up, especially when I'm down. So shout out to those guys. But thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry for keeping you for 19.5 minutes, but I love you guys forever, and I will hopefully see you later today in a new video. Bye everyone, have a good one.